We were studying what? Last lecture, we were studying line drawing algorithm. Okay, for example, we draw these lines, and normally we draw them using what? Using simple functions like we had context dot line 2. Okay, if you remember. Okay, let me make it bigger if I can. Okay, so there was context dot line 2, and then we had another function which was context dot move to. So first we go to move to. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but there was one function move to. We move to a point. For example, this is my first point, and then I say line 2, which goes to the next point and draws a line between them. Okay, so we have these functions. But if we don't have these functions, how do we draw a line? Okay, we want to draw a line by ourselves. So a line like this one here, what is that? It is actually drawn using points. So all these things, they are points, okay, between the 2 points, the start point and the end point. So we need to understand how do we draw a line on the context. And for that, we try to understand first the equation of line. The line equation is y is equal to mx plus b. This is the general line equation, where m is the slope of the line. How do we find m? We find m this by subtracting the y coordinates, y2 minus y1, and then dividing it by the x coordinates, and we are considering any 2 points on the line. Okay, it can be points like here x1 and x2, or it can be point like x2 or maybe x3, maybe somewhere here on the same line. So take any 2 points and they will always give you the same slope, okay, because this is a straight line. And the other one is the b in this equation, okay, a constant which is known as y-intercept. What is y-intercept? It means that this line will cross the y-axis at some point. So for example, if we extend this down, so this line will cross it here. Okay, so down at the bottom, that will be the y-intercept. And why is it important, this y-intercept? Because y-intercept moves your line up and down. And m, it moves your line by changing the direction. Okay, so by m we mean what? Let me draw using the paint program. uh, I did that last time. I explained this to you last time, that in the paint program, if I can just draw a line, so I can have a line like this, okay, which has a slope. So as the line goes up like this, the slope is increasing. So here the slope is greater than 1, okay, and this another line, let's say if I have drawn like this, then the slope is less than 1. And between what? We have coordinates actually, okay. So if I think of the coordinates here, so this is my coordinate system. Okay, and you can see these are my x and y coordinates, and I can have what? I can have a line like this one which is less than m, this line which is more than m, and I can have another line, and this can be from anywhere. Okay, let's say I start from here, so this is in the center. Okay, center means what? Center means that the area above this line, and let me change it to brown or maybe change it to green so we can see. So the area above this green line here and the area below this green line here, they are same. So it is passing through the center. And this is m is equal to 1. So m is equal to 1 is this line, m is greater than 1 this line, and m is less than 1 this whole area. So anything here is m is less than 1. Anything here is m greater than 1. Okay, we understand this point. I explained this to you last time. Why is this important? Because it will make a difference when we draw a line. Okay, and how do we find m? We know it from here. How do we find b? We know it from here when we put x is equal to 0. So in this point here, from top to down, this one, okay, if I change it to blue, so this is your y-axis, and here always x is equal to 0. So I will get a value for y when x is equal to 0, and that value of y will be my b. Okay, that is an important point. If m is equal to 1, I know that this area here from x1 to x2, this is the same as the length of this between y1 and y2. Okay, so if they are same, it means that they will cancel each other and the answer will be m is equal to 1. So when m equals 1, we get the shape of the line like this. It is 45 degree in the middle. Okay, now when we want to draw lines, we have 4 different conditions. Okay, one is that m is less than 1. Okay, m is less than 1 and we are moving from left to right. So let's say it's this line. Okay, this line, if you are going to draw, you start from left and we go until this point. So this is our line. So in this case, what we do, we move from the starting point of x1 and we keep moving until the last point. And the change on x is only 1. So it means that we will start with x is equal to 0, then x is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, and so on. We are going to increase the value of x. And how much we increase the value of y? We will increase the value of y as the slope. Okay, the slope is m, so we will increase the value of y with m, not 1, not 0, but with m. And depending upon m, we will get a new y. Okay, so if the value of m is very small, so the next y will be the same as the previous y. So what is yk plus 1? Yk plus 1 is the next y, and yk is the current y. So let's say initially we are finding for y0, so that will be yk. Next time it will be for y1, then we will be doing it for y2, and so on. It will be increasing. So y2 is equal to y1 plus m. Okay, that's how we are doing that. And this is the simple algorithm. So we initialize with these parameters that the change in x will be 1, okay, which is here in this one. Change in x is equal to 1 and change in y is equal to y plus 1. So we will get a new point, xk plus 1, yk plus 1, and we will plot this point. Okay, so xk plus 1 is very simple. You just increase x by 1, and yk plus 1 is increased by m, and then we will draw this. Plot means we will draw this point on the screen. Okay. Similarly, if m is less than 1, and why we are going to do this? Let us make a small program. Okay, and that's very important to understand. If you have any question, you can ask me about the program. Okay, so what we have, let's take the first condition when m is less than 1 and we are moving from left to right. So on paint, it will be something like this. Let me create a new one. Save. Okay, so if I make the coordinate systems, just make, okay, yeah, so this is here and this is here. Say that. Okay, so I have this x y coordinate system. We know that on this side we have our x, okay, and on this side we have our y, okay, and I want to draw a line, so let me draw a line in green color or blue color, and any line which is something like this. This is less than, well, this is not exactly less than 1, but let me make it less than 1. So this is less than 1. This is also less than 1. Okay, and I can have a line like this. It should not pass anywhere. I can have a line like this, or I can have a line like this even. Okay, I can have a line like this. So starting from left side, okay, we start from this side, any point, and we go into this side, and it can be any big or small line. Okay, so if we take any 2 points on the line, we will get the same what m, slope. Okay, and getting only 2 points, that's fine, because the rest you can just increase that in any direction. It's very easy. But our objective for this algorithm, the first one that I'm going to write is I will have a line, the slope is less than 1, okay, and it is starting from left and it goes to right. So this is my condition. And if I show you, we have done this last time, okay, that we can draw this. How do we do this? Do you remember? We discussed that or not? I don't remember. But let me repeat that also. Okay, if I go here, normally when we have our canvas, so our canvas starts from here, 0, 0, this point, okay, this point is my 0, 0, okay, and then in this direction x is increasing from left to right and from top to bottom my y is increasing. So my origin is here, top left. What if I want my origin to be here, for example? Let's say. So I will show that to you, that if I have my origin in the lower left, what will happen? Okay, so here I have done my origin as lower left. How? Let me show you the code. Okay, how did I do this? I'm not sure if I have discussed that, but let's see. Okay, so we have the same code like before. Okay, and I will say that the title of this is moving the origin to bottom left. Okay, so that will move the origin to bottom left, and what we are doing is, this is the same code. I add these lines, and let me comment this so we can understand what's happening. Okay, so I translate my context to 0, 600. What is translating my context to 0, 600? Here, let me refresh. Okay, my context is here, 0, 0.
It will translate on y-axis.
Yes, so where will it go? Because you see, down, yes. So the width of my canvas is 600 and height is 600. So it will go to this position down, okay, at the bottom. So here is my context now. This is the origin of my context because I translated it simply. I translate, so my point is this. Now, if I translate to 300, okay, let's say 300. So I will translate it in the middle, somewhere here. So I will translate here. Now, if I do this, context.filter at 0, 0, 50, 50. Where is my 0? My 0 is here in the middle because this is original 0. This is original 600. When I translate it down to 300 from here, it came here in the middle. So almost this is in the middle. And now if I say 0, 0, 50, 50, so here in the middle, it will create a square, okay? And you see the square is, sorry, I didn't create a square. What did I do? Wait, okay, stroke right. Wait, yeah, because I moved it 0, 0. Okay, forget about the scaling right now. Okay, sorry, I just translate, I move it, okay, and it is here. So you can see the same origin is here. This is the same thing. Starting from here, I bring it down and I have these two lines, and these two lines are what? You can see how did I draw this? I have a stroke, right? From 0, 0 to 601 and 601. So it starts from 0, 0. Here it is 601 and down it's 601, but I can see only half of that. Okay. Now this is, I draw this just to show, okay, that there are some lines and this is my origin. When I say 50, 50, it draws here. Now if I say 200, 200 and 50, 50, what will happen? So 0, 0 is here, 200, 200 will be here. So it will have something like 200, 200 and 50, 50. Okay. Now I do one thing. What I do is I will scale this with -1, the y-axis. Okay, so if you scale the y-axis to -1, what does that mean? Do you remember? Scaling y-axis by -1 means that all the y will be changed to negative y. Okay, so all the y will be changed to negative y. So this will change to -200 and sorry, this will change to -200. Okay, because we are scaling on y on negative, so the y for 200 will change to -200. So what will happen? This 200 here it will become minus 200, which means that it should come here. Okay, this is my 0, so my minus 200 will be on the opposite side. So this is actually reflection. Okay, this means what? This means reflection on y-axis. You remember reflection, x, we have studied that. Okay, so by this I do reflection. Why do I do reflection? I will show you. And also this 0, 0, 50, 50. When I reflect, what will happen? Okay, so this will remain 0. Okay, but what will happen is that it has reflected. I changed my y-axis, so the canvas moved up. And if I want to do it from the bottom, so I will do the translate to 600, which means that this point, starting point, it will go here. Okay, so it will be like there. So now this is my canvas. If I draw something, it will be drawn here. My 0, 0 is here, my 50, 50 is here, my 100, 100 is here, my 200, 200 is here, my 500, 500, and then this is my 600, 600 at this top point. So I have just done a reflection on this canvas if I wanted to move this point. Now this is one type of transformation in which I moved my origin from top left to bottom right. Okay, if I want now to move my origin to this, for example, let's say, okay, so I will translate 600 in x-axis and 600 in y-axis. So it will be like this, it will be in this direction, and then it means that all this will move to the right. Okay, but because my canvas size is 600, so we will not see that. If I make my canvas size bigger, then I can see that. So what do you think if I want to move my canvas 0, 0 in the center? So on this side it is like this. What I want is this thing. Okay, so here x is positive, here x is negative, y is positive, and here y is negative. So how do we do this? This is something we need to understand, and I have done it like this. I translated it by 300, 300. Okay, total size, remember, is 600. So this point down is 600 by 600, and this point is 0, 0 in the beginning. So this is starting from 0. Okay, this is my 0, 0 point. When I move my x-axis on 300, it comes here, and then when I move my y by 300, translate, so it comes here. So this is 300 by 300. So after translate, my 0, 0 becomes this point. And then I scale. So for the time being, forget about scale. We don't want scale. Okay, I just moved my origin here. And then what I did, I have drawn these two lines. The first line is from minus 300, 0. So if this is my 0, 0, my minus 300, 0 is this. From minus 300, 0, I move to, and then I have a line to this, which is 300, 0. Minus 300, 0, 300, 0. What is this? This is, first I will say, we create the x and the y axis. Okay, so these two lines are for x axis, from my left to my right. Okay, and then I have, and then what I do, I will move this a little bit here, in it, I move this here. Okay, so I move my origin here first with this, then I create one line, this one, which is from left to right, then I create another line which is from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, okay, from minus 300 to 300, and then I stroke. Stroke means that it will complete this. Okay, so there should be begin path and end path, but anyways, that's fine, it's working fine. So I create one path with this origin. Now what will happen? Think about this. What will happen if I do now context wait, if I do now context dot fill rect 0, 0 and 50 and 50? Where will that be in your opinion? Okay, I have a fill rect now. Where will it be drawn? Will it be here? Will it be here? Will it be here? Where will that be? Anyone? Yes. Any idea? البارت 1 أول الجزء الأول. This is الجزء الأول. This? Yes. Yes. Okay, but if I refresh, it's here. Why? Because this is my no reflection. This is without reflection. Okay, so if I don't translate here, you see, if I don't translate without translate, if I do this, it will be here. Okay, so I just have the same thing, but I translate it before drawing. So I draw and I do this. Okay, now it's here. I wanted this to be here, so I will reflect that. I will do the reflection here now. Okay, and it will be like here. Now I do the reflection. Okay, after that, if I have another one, okay, and I make it, let's say 100 and 50. Where will that be? Because this is my 0, 0, x is increasing here. Because of reflection, y is increasing up. Okay, so it will be, this is 50, so this is 100. So 100, 50. It should come somewhere here, you can see. Okay, so that is actually we have now in this direction. So I have now a canvas in which I can draw here positive. If I make it negative, I copy this, let's say, and what will happen if I make it minus 100? Okay, x is minus 100, and what it means? So x will be minus 100, so x should come here, and we will see here. Okay, similarly, if I make both x and y to be negative, minus 100, minus 100, so this will come down, and it will be the opposite. Okay, so that's clear how we do this. So this is now, this canvas is like what we do in calculus, that this is the first quadrant, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth. Okay, here x and y both are positive, here y is positive, x is negative, x and y both are negative, here x is positive, y is negative. Okay, we know this. So now you understand this thing, how we move our origin to the middle. Okay, we just translate from here to this, and then we also do what? We will make it a reflection. So without reflection, everything will be here. When we do reflection, so it will be actually the opposite. We just change y on the opposite side. Okay, so this is clear. Now what we do after this, let me remove this. We want to draw the algorithm. Okay, let me refresh this. So we have empty thing, and we will implement our algorithm, this line drawing algorithm, and we will draw a line. Okay, now let's consider first that I have m is equal to 1. Okay, if m is equal to 1, let's draw this line in the middle. If m is equal to 1, what does that mean? How is m is equal to 1? If this y2 minus y1 is same as x2 minus x1. Okay, now how is it possible? Let's do this. Let's do the mathematics. Simple. Okay, my equation of line is what? My equation of line is y equal mx plus b. Okay, let me make it bigger. So let me make the font to be 26 or maybe 36. Okay, so this is my equation, y equals mx plus b. If m is equal to 1, m equals 1, what does that mean? It means what? So it means that this is equal to what? Y is equal to x plus b. Okay, if m is equal to 1, this equation will become 0. And if this equation will become y is equal to x plus b. If b is equal to 0, then what does that mean? It means that what? Y equal x. Okay, so y will become x if m is equal to 1 and b is equal to 0. Why do we do this? Because we want a simple one. Okay, it has many variables. Now we have just two, y and x. Okay, what does this mean? Y and x. So let's take the value of x and y. Okay, x and y. We can start with the value of x as 0, 1, 2, etc. Let's say 10, for example, or maybe 100. Okay, so can anyone tell me What will be the value of y if x is equal to 0? What will be the value of y for this equation? If x is equal to 0, what is y? 0. Yes, thank you. Y will be 0. If x is equal to 1, 1. If x is equal to 2, it will be 2, and so on. Okay? So it's the same value. If x is equal to 0, y will be 0. If x is equal to 1, y will be equal to 1, and so on. So the line will be what? The line will be exactly this line in the middle. We are talking about this line. So we want to draw this line, which means that our first point, what is our first point? This will be our first point. Okay? That will be our first point, and let's say that is our last point, 100, 100. It can be 200, 200, whatever, but we get this thing. Okay, what is m? We said m is equal to 1. Okay, so we will implement now this equation. Delta x is equal to 1 means what? That x is equal to x plus 1 and y is equal to y plus n, but m is 1, so we will implement that equation. Okay, so how do we do this? We have this rule for k is equal to 0, k is less than x2 minus 1. What does that mean? Less than x2 minus x1. Okay, this is x2 and this is x1. So x2 minus x1 is this thing. Okay, so let's say if this is 10 here, if you see x2 is 100, this is x2, it is 100, and let me write it. Okay, so I have a point x1 is equal to 0 and y1 is equal to 0 and x2 is equal to 100 and y2 is equal to 100 as well. Okay, so these are my 2 points x and y. Okay, and let me make it like blue. Okay, so now I have this algorithm for these points. My first point, I start from x0, y0, which is this, and I will stop at x200 and y200. Okay, so here, yes. Okay, any question? No. No, okay, good. So what is x2 minus x1? x2 minus x1 is 100. Okay, 100 minus 0. Yes, that is equal to 100. Okay, so here k will start from 0 and k will go to 100. Okay, from 0 to 99. So yes, we will run this k 99 times, 100 times from 0 to 99. That will be 100. And for these 100 times, we are going to update the value of x. So first the value of x will be 0, then it will be 1, then it will be 2, and it will go until 99. Okay, but if you don't start from 0, if you start from 10, for example, let's say, if you start from 10, then that will become 10, 11, 12. Okay, here we start from 0, but we can start from any number and we will change that. Okay, and then we will have this algorithm. Okay, let's do this. Let us start the algorithm. What is the algorithm? So the algorithm says that we have for k equals 0, k is less than x2 minus x1 and k plus plus. In the algorithm we don't write, but actually there is a k plus plus as well. Okay, and then I will have in the loop what? I say that x is equal to x plus 1. Okay, and y is equal to y plus m. That is what is here. K is equal to, x is equal to x plus 1, y is equal to y plus m. Now forget about k plus 1 or k. Okay, this is the same thing like here. But what is my x? We start x from where? We start x from here, this point, which is x1. Okay, so I will start from x1, but I will write it here. So first my x1 is equal to 0, my y1 is equal to 0, okay, and then my x2 is equal to 100 and my y2 is equal to 100. Okay, so these are my first point and second point, and then we start x from where? We start x from x1. X is equal to x1. Okay, and what is our y? We start y from y1. Okay, so we have any x and y points. Why do we need x and y? Because we will draw these points. Okay, we will draw x and y. So how do I draw a point on canvas? Can anyone tell me? Because this is the last step. Here we say plot. Plot means draw this point, x and y. So my x and y are here. How do I plot? How can I draw a point on canvas? Do you know? Okay, actually we do it like this. Fill right. Okay, and the position is x and y. Here we say, okay, this position is x and y, and what is the thing? We can have 1 1. So what is this? It will just write a point on the canvas at position xy. Okay, and also I want to know the position of x and y, so I will just write console.log x and y. Okay, so on the console I will have the position of x and y, and here I'm going to draw this point. Okay, now this should be, sorry, this is 1 1, but what is m? We said that m is 1 here, so I will write my m, or maybe I can write here my m is equal to 1. Okay, okay, so how do I find m? Why do I say 1? Okay, because I can find m from here. What is the equation for m? Do you remember? The equation from m is this: y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So I will write here y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, this is my m, and I will also print this to console so we know what is our m. Okay, I can write it like this: m is equal to m. Okay, so it will print m, and it will also print x and y points. Okay, so that's what we do. First I will print m. We can see that y2 minus y1 is what? What is y2? 100 minus 100. 100 minus 0, so that is 100. And x2 minus x1 is 100 minus 0, that is also 100. So 100 divided by 100, that will be equal to 1, so it should print 1. And then we will get x as x plus 1, y as y plus 1, and we will draw this. Okay, so let us draw this thing and see what happens. So I save this, I come here and I refresh this, so there is a line, you can see. Okay, now I can change the start and end point. Okay, I can change the start point x to be minus 100, and the same should be for y. Okay, because x and y are same. And let me change this to 500 maybe, for example. Okay, and I will have a line now, different endpoints, and when I draw this, you can see this line is going to the center. Okay, now what is the role of b? You remember b, if we add b to that, where do we add b? We can add b here, for example. Okay, so if we add b, and initially my b is 0, so if I add b is equal to here after m, let's say, because b is in my control, I can have b is equal to 0, so it will not make any change. If I draw that, of course, it will not make any change. If I make b is equal to 10, what will happen? B is equal to 10 means I move my line up by 10. 10 is very small, we cannot see that. Let me make it 100. So if I make a change of 100, it goes up. Okay, and what about, okay, this is 100. If I make it minus 100, what will happen? Okay, it is coming down. Okay, so that is how my line is moving up and down if I change B, and also M right now is 1 because I start from these 2 points. Okay, now I can change my start points. Okay, this line has a slope of 1. How do I know if the slope is 1? I can check from the console. So from the console, when we run this, when we start it, you can see the first thing is m is equal to 1. Okay, it printed this message. Where is the message? It said this console.m is equal to 1. So we print that m is equal to 1. Then we start from k is equal to 0. X is equal to x plus 1, y is equal to y plus m is 1. So y is equal to y plus 1. So console.log x and y. What is x? We start with x is equal to minus 100. When we say x plus 1, so that will be minus 100 plus 1, that will be minus 99. Similarly, y will become minus 99, then minus 98, minus 97, and it goes until 500. You remember, the last point is 500, so it will go until 500. Okay, because we say that x2 is 500. So it starts from x1, which is minus 100, and it goes into x2, which is 500. Okay, so this was a line in which I had a slope of 1. Let's try another line. Okay, let's try another line. Let's say I want to have a line something like this. You will tell me, okay? So let me draw this, and let me draw this. Okay, center. If I want to make, okay, sorry, like this, and then I choose another one, and let me have this color to draw a line like this. Okay, what do you think should be the points? For example, what are these points? What will be this point in your opinion? Y is small and x distance is large. So y is small, y can be maybe let's say 50, and x is very large, so x may be 200. So we can take this point as 250. Okay, and this is the opposite. So sorry, so x will be minus, x is also minus 200, and y is also minus, which will be minus 50. So this is minus 200 minus 50, and it can be anything else. We can go up to let's say 100, x is 100, and y can be 80. Let's say we have a line like this. So I will start with minus 200 minus 50 and 180, and let's see how does that work. Okay, once again this point is minus 200 minus 50 because x is more on the left side, y is a little bit, so this is minus 200 minus 50 and 180. So this will, I will make it minus 200, and this one is minus 50, and that will be 100, and that will be 80. Okay, so I'll line something like this. This is just an example. So with this line, I will have a different slope. Okay, and let me make b0 for the time being, which means that it will pass through the origin. Okay, so yeah, we will see that the y when x is equal to 0, b is equal to 0 means that when x is equal to 0, so what value of y will that be? We will see that. Okay, let me refresh that. Okay, so here's the line. Okay, what happens here? We see that x1 is minus 200 here, y1 is minus 50 here, and then x2 is 100, but y2 is 80. Y2 is down, still down. Why? That's something interesting for us. Why is y2 80? Okay, what is my b? B is 0. So let's see the output. How does that work? In the output, we will check all those things. So this is my output. I go to console. So I start with, first m is equal to 0.43. This is less than 1. Okay, if you find m this, it will give you 0.4333, something like that. Okay, then my first point is minus 199. Okay, and then minus 198, minus 197. So x is increasing by 1. But how much is y increasing? Y is increasing by m. So minus 50, and this is 0.433. So minus 50 plus 0.433, this becomes minus 49.56. Then with this we add 0.433, that becomes minus 49.11, then minus 48 point something, and it continues. Okay, so it goes until the point 100 to 80. 79 point, you see 79.999, this is 80. So this is exactly from x1 to 2, but my surprise here is that y is 80 downside. The 80 should be here. Okay, this 80 should come up. Okay, and let's see, there could be a reason for that. The reason could be we need to see that how does it work. Okay, so let's change that y2 to 180. Okay, so it will go up. Okay, you see this is now 180. Okay, if I change back to 80 somehow, so it comes down. Okay, now this is the correct one. I don't know what was the error, but this is actually 80. Somehow there was a problem in drawing. So this point here on the right, this is this x2 y2 180, and this point on the left, this is what? This is minus 200 minus 50. Okay, and if I add a b of 100, okay, and I add b here, b of 100 means what? It will move this line up by 100. Okay, so this is working fine. For what? This equation is working fine. Let me try one more time. Let's say I make my y same. So y1 and y2, okay, the b is 0. Let me go back to the initials. So b is 0. I come here. Okay, and let me make y1 and y2 same. So what will happen if y1 and y2 they both are same? Can anyone tell me? Sorry, not this one. y1 and y2, if they both are same, what type of line that would be? There is no change in y. What does that mean? X is changing from minus 200 to 80. Okay. Yes? Sorry? I don't hear. What will happen if I make y1 and y2 to be the same? So the line x is changing, but y1 and y2 they are same, so it will be a line something like this actually. Okay, because this y and this y they are the same, and because of x it's changing. So if my y is 0, sorry, my b is 0, the line will be here. And if I change my b, it will go up, or if I change my b, it will go down. Okay, so this is what we need to see if it's working like this or not. So initially my b is 0, my y1 and y2 they are same. So if y1 and y2 they are same here, this will become 0. And 0 means 0 divided by any number, the answer will be 0. So it will become m is equal to 0, and b will also become 0. Okay, so I will see console.log m and b both. Okay, so that we know what we are going to do. B, okay, so this is my b and that's my m, and we will print that. We know b is equal to 0. So let's do this. The code is here, and when I refresh, you can see the line is here. Okay, wait, I don't know why the b is not working sometimes. Somehow what is, oh, it's 80. Yeah, yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's 80, sorry, it's 80. So y1 is 80, it's up, it's not 0. Okay, y1 is 80, y2 is 80, so it's a horizontal line. Okay, but if I make it 0 0 0 and 0, so it will be on top of this. Right, let me save and then see. So actually it's here. Okay, it's here, but we cannot see because it's on the same line. So if I make it 10 10, it will be a little bit up. Okay, and 80 80 more up. Okay, so this is my 10 10. Now I can change my b. If I make it 100, okay, it will go up to position 100. And if I make it minus 100, then it will go down and position here. Okay, so by changing B, actually I can change my line. Okay, I hope you understand this code, and this is how it works. Okay, now there is one thing. I have this line. If I make the difference between y1 and y2 a lot, let's say we make it 100. Okay, so if we make it 100 and let me make it be 0, and I want to show you one point. So this is the line. This is totally fine. Okay, from minus 210. Okay, or if I make it even more, minus 50. Okay, y1, this will come down to this point, minus 50. So it will be doing this. And let's see also our, the value of m. Okay, what is the value of m? M is 0.5. So it is exactly in the center. Okay, 0.5 means it's exactly in the, okay, let's see. So this is my m. If I increase y more, let's say if I make it 200, what will happen? Okay, so what is my m here? My m here is 0.83. It's less than 1, still less than 1. Okay, let me make it more higher. And let me make it 250. Okay, so 250 minus 50, that will become 250 plus 50, that will become 300. This will become 300 divided by 100 plus 200, that will become 300. Okay, that should be 1 exactly. So 300 divided by 300, that should be exactly 1. You can see m is equal to 1. Now here it's working fine, m is equal to 1. We can see how this is working. Okay, so this is my line working perfectly fine. Now let's move it even more. The difference between line, if I change this to 300, okay, so that will become 300 plus 50, that will become 350, and down it will be 300. So that will have something like this. Okay, still it's quite good. Let us increase even more. Okay, from 300, let me make it 400 and see what happens. So here, before 400, it is 1.16. Okay, now if I refresh, it's like this. So I am creating a line which is working totally fine. Okay, is it working totally fine or not? You can see this line like this. Okay, now the pixel position is actually very small, but if the pixels they are big, then it will create actually a problem. Okay, and that's why we have other conditions for this. So from left to right, if we have m greater than 1 left to right, then actually it should be like this. Actually, why? Because the difference of y is too much as compared to x. So here, this is a line. Same, I don't change y, but I only change x. So this will create a problem. You see that if x, I started from minus 100, okay, to 100, and I refresh that, okay, so there are actually small points in there. Okay, why? Let me do it more. We will start x from minus 50 to 100. Okay, and then you will see things. Now there are small points in there. Let me do it more even to make you one point here. Okay, now the line, you see that there are dots actually. So if I zoom in, actually it's like this. Okay, between two dots there is space. Okay, why? Because the difference in y, you can see the difference in y first is minus 45, then it becomes minus 41. So there are 4 pixels difference. From 41 I get to 36.5. There is 4.5 pixels difference. Okay, so this difference actually makes it what? The line space between them. And this algorithm fails, this one, if we have this spacing. So this algorithm will not work if the difference of m is more than 1, like 4.5 here, so this is here. Okay, so that creates a problem, and that's why when m is greater than 1, we have a different algorithm in which we say that delta y is equal to 1. We change the value of the role of x and y. So delta y is equal to 1, and we repeat that now y is increasing by 1 and x is increasing by m. Okay, 1 over m. That's a small difference we do, and the rest of the algorithm, this is the same. Okay, so if I am going to change this, what will I do here? Let's see. I don't change these points, I just change my algorithm. Okay, so what do I change? I change that y is equal to y plus 1 and x is equal to x plus 1 over m. Okay, that's what is the difference here in this algorithm. Y is equal to y plus 1 and x is equal to x plus 1 over m, and I have the same points. This is the change in x and y. Okay, so I just change these two lines when my m is greater than 1. You can see why will the m greater than 1, because we will see it here that the m will be greater than 1. So let's see if this algorithm works or not. Let me move back to the same position, 100. Okay, we can see the dotted lines. So if I refresh this now, okay, you can see the line has become here. Okay, and the reason is what? There is one problem. The reason is that I also need to change this y2 minus y1. Okay, because we are now caring about the points, so it will be like this. Okay, so the same things, and we are doing this. Okay, the line. So this is very good line, and because I have changed now the role of x and the role of y, and we got this point. Okay, so this is the algorithm for m is greater than 1, and this one is for m is less than 1. Remember these two. Okay, we have four conditions. So this is when we go from left to right, and this is also from left to right, m is greater than 1. Two more conditions. Okay, when we move from right to left, what does it mean? It means that we start from this point and this point. Then this algorithm will not work. Why will this algorithm not work? Because x2 minus x1 right now, when it is from left to right, what is x2 minus x1? This was from 100 minus 0. So that was 100. It was possible. But if we change the role, we start from right to left. Okay, so my x2 will be 0, my x1 will be 100. So that will be 0 minus 100, and 0 minus 100 will be minus 100. So this condition will be false, it will not draw anything. Okay, so in that case, we need to change the algorithm slightly, that we will start from x is equal to x minus 1, and this will be same. Okay, so x will be decreased and y will be decreased. Okay, so delta x will be negative, delta y will also be negative. And the last condition, when we have right to left, okay, and slope is greater than 1, so we will have the opposite of what we had for left to right. Okay, which means that delta y will be negative 1 and delta x will be minus 1 over m, not plus 1 over m. So that's a very simple algorithm. Now, let me tell you one thing. I'm going to give you this as homework. You will submit after the vacation, okay, in week 12, okay. But what I have done, you have seen the video recording will be there for you. I will have these two cases for you, okay, and the remaining, what you will do is the remaining two cases you will write the code for that. Okay, so I will give that to you and you have to check that how does it work. Okay, so you have to complete this by writing two more algorithms like this, just 5-6 lines you have to write and give that homework to me. Okay, so I hope that it will be working fine for you. Okay, any question in this?
No.
Okay, so this is, yes, what question? Mm-hmm. Yes, there will be matching, maybe there is true false, maybe because actually I sent the exam, so there are short questions. Even this topic is included, okay? Not the detail, not the algorithm, but the line equation is included, okay? The first few slides, this slide and this slide, like they are there in the exam, okay? The algorithm is not there in the exam, okay? So all the HTML code, everything, events and listeners and animation, this is there in the exam. And also the algorithm, we call it DDA algorithm, this is there in the exam, okay? Sorry, not the algorithm, before this just the line equation is there in the exam, okay?
This chapter in the metric, sir?
Just these two slides, the line equation and this, okay? The algorithm is not in the exam. You don't need to memorize the algorithm right now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so any other question?
No.
Okay, so I will just summarize that we have condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, this one, and then condition 4, and the summary is this, okay? What are the 4 conditions? That if we move from left to right and slope is less than 1, then this is what we have. If we move from left to right and the slope is greater than 1, then we have this. If we move from right to left and the slope is less than 1, then we will have these conditions, and similarly from greater than 1 we have this condition, okay? That's very much simple and there is no difficulty. You should be able to understand this. Now here is one example we will study, then we will stop, okay? We want to draw a line with these endpoints 2010 and 3018. Okay, and the slope is what? How do you find the slope? So first we find m slope. M is equal to y2, which is 18, minus y1, which is 10, divided by x2, which is 30, minus x1, which is 20. So this is 18 minus 10 divided by 30 minus 20. This is equal to 8 by 10. The slope is 0.8. So this is a positive slope less than 1, and we will use this equation because when the slope is less than 1, okay, and we are moving from left to right. How do we know if we are moving from left to right? Because this x is less than this x. So we are moving from left to right, and what we do is we are going to use this condition because here you can see from left to right, when slope is less than 1, we have x is equal to x plus 1 and y is equal to y plus 1. Okay, so we will use this condition. So what does that mean? We will start with the first point 2010, and we will increase x by 1, so that will be 21, 22, 23, and we will increase y by what? By m, which means 10.8 and then 11.6 and so on. So 10.8, okay, so 10.8, 11.6 and so on, and we will round it. Okay, so 2010 will become 2010, 21 and 10.8, this will become 2111, 22 11.6, this will become 22 12, 12.4, this will become 12. So you see here the y is not changing, the x is changing all points, but sometimes the y may be changing, sometimes it may not be changing, and that's how we draw a line. Okay, so this is an example of line for this algorithm. Okay, so we finished DDA algorithm. The recording will be there, you can see that anytime, and after that, after the exam, we will start with the Bressenham's algorithm. Okay, if there is no question, I will stop. Any question? No question. Okay, I will stop.